Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for our Ad Audience with session with Kaja from the Rhythm Studio. So thank you very much for joining us today. And today we're going to be talking all about the rock school drums, as well as Kaja's experience within music education and a bit about the Rhythm Studio. So thank you very much, Kaja, for joining us today.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. And I thought we'd just start off just a bit of background about your own route into music education.
Yeah, so I started playing the drums and piano when I was 9, and then I started playing in bands when I was 12. And I've always had teachers, so I've always taken lessons, and even my band sessions were guided by a tutor in the beginning. So I feel I've always been exposed to different sort of varieties of teachers and different teaching styles, and have been able to witness how you can bring across music, I guess. And I went on to obtain a bachelor's degree in music performance and teaching. And I think I've always been sort of intrigued by music as a tool for communication, because playing music is so much more about yourself and finding out your own boundaries and pushing yourself than it is just about, learning scales and specific techniques and rudiments and stuff. And that's the aspect I really enjoy. So that's why I'm teaching music.
Excellent. Sounds brilliant. And I guess today we're talking a bit about the drums. Obviously, you're a drummer. So maybe just a bit about, starting off with who is your favorite drummer?
Obviously, that's always really difficult to say because there's so many amazing musicians and drummers out there. But somebody who I really enjoy watching and listening to is a drummer called Stella Mozgawa, who's the drummer for Warpaint. And she's also played with Kurt Weill, and she's collaborated with Courtney Barnett and Tom Jones and Kim Gordon and loads of others. And I really enjoy her sort of groove-based playing. And I think she's just a prime example for the fact that you don't need to overplay anything. The most important thing, I think, as a drummer is to play for the song, and she does that magnificently. So I really enjoy watching Stella Mozgawa.
Brilliant. Sounds great. And also, who's your favorite song to play, or kind of style of drums that you really enjoy playing?
I have to admit, I'm just a sucker for pop and rock drumming.
Pop and rock,
yeah, I really enjoy that because there's a lot of different varieties of genres that you can sort of bring into those styles. So I'm just gonna have to go with that.
Yeah, brilliant. And I guess what was your first song you learned to play on the drums?
I had to, I was thinking about that, and I think it was Two Princes by Spin Doctors. I don't know if you know the song.
Yeah, I know the song. Yeah, no, brilliant song. Yeah.
Quite catchy hook from the 90s. Yeah, pretty funny.
Excellent. No, it sounds really good. And I guess on that, how do you currently discover new music at the moment? Is it through sort of things like different platforms or YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, I have to admit, obviously Spotify suggests all sorts of things to me, and I sometimes follow their suggestions and see what's out there. But then also my students, bring in all sorts of songs, and that's always a really good way to discover stuff, and fellow tutors as well.
Yeah, no, amazing. And then I guess who was the last band that you went to see live?
I think it was this Australian singer-songwriter called Alex Cameron, who's sort of, I think you could describe him as sort of synth pop or soft rock. I saw him in Dalston. That was pretty cool.
Brilliant. Excellent. Great. And then moving on to a bit about the Rhythm Studio. So maybe just a bit of overview about the Rhythm Studio and also your role within the business.
Yeah, so the Rhythm Studio is a music school in West London, and we offer music classes, instrumental tuition and vocal tuition, as well as band classes in the afternoons after school and also on the weekends. And we also do lots of holiday camps for kids who want to stay busy playing music over the holidays. So we run band camps and music production camps. And we also offer a sixth form for kids that are more serious about music and sort of want to get into the industry via, business and production and performance classes.
Mm-hmm. Amazing. And then I guess how does RSL Awards fit into the Rhythm Studio, and what RSL qualifications do you currently offer?
So we offer the normal
Mhm.
instrument.
So the rock school graded
Exactly,
syllabus. Yeah.
exactly the graded in in our one-to-one lessons. Um, we also do lots of certificates as well.
Hmm.
Um, and let's see, that's right. The level 3 extended diploma is as well part of our program,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
obviously the sixth form. Yeah.
Yeah. Brilliant. And I guess maybe a bit about the value of doing the RSL qualifications and the key benefits that you find that students are enjoying learning, and how you find teaching the syllabus as well.
Yeah, obviously, working towards a graded music exam is a really good target. It's a good benchmark as well. It helps with entrance to specific schools because they, might ask for qualifications. It's super rewarding for students to get a certificate as well. It's something they can talk to their friends about. A lot of my
Hmm.
students as well sort of compare
Yeah.
compare their level to their friends. So there's a bit of competition, which is probably quite good as well.
Yeah.
Um, I think it also prepares for the world of interviews and exams and auditions and stuff. So it's a good
Yeah.
sort
No,
of
true.
practice for that.
Absolutely.
And then obviously grades 6 to 8 have UCAS points attached to them as well. So helping
Hmm.
with university entrance too.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah.
And I think it's great that the rock school drum syllabus and all the syllabus we've got from beginner right to advanced. So even with beginner students from, say, the premier debut grades, and we even have the method books as well. So do you find sort of the beginner students really adopt the learning and really enjoy the pieces? Do you find in your lessons?
Yeah, for sure, especially in the new syllabi,
Hmm.
with updated songs, for
Yeah.
sure. I think it's fun for them that they can feel like they're learning in an organized way,
Mm.
but with material that's from their world of music that they actually engage with as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then the Rhythm Studio, obviously, you guys are a public rock school exam center.
Yeah.
So maybe a bit about an overview about how you currently arrange or coordinate your public exam day, and how you find that with rock school, and also how you advertise your public exam day to your parents, and students, and kind of the wider audiences as well.
Yeah. So the way it works for us is that Rock School book in a few dates each term with us,
Mhm.
and then we inform our parents and students during the lessons. So we let them know what dates the Rock School is at our center, and show them how to book in their exam. And they can check the dates as well on the RSL website. In terms of advertising, we do it in a very analog way. We just talk to our students and parents.
Mhm.
So we just let them know in and around the studio or via our lesson notes that we send out after every lesson, that yeah, exams are coming up at our studio.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but
Brilliant. And I guess leading up to the exam day as well, how do you prepare your students? Because I remember when I was at school, was kind of can be a bit sort of nerves and that sort of thing. So do
mm,
you do things maybe like mock exams and lessons or anything like that?
for sure, yeah, because we've definitely found that um, you can study the material super extensively and the student might be nailing every single bit in your lessons, but then as soon as they enter the exam room, their nerves crumble and they can't remember the name.
Mhm.
So we do find it's quite important to prepare them for the specific situation via mock exams. So running them through the exam the way that an examiner might. So with giving little feedback, and so just sort of quite strictly just running through all the different exercises.
Mhm.
And then also letting them ask all the questions they need to get out. They could
Mhm.
be as silly as where is the examiner going to sit? Because they need to really imagine
Yeah,
the situation they'll be in, and that really helps for them to mentally prepare for that specific situation.
absolutely. And then have any of your students ever considered or done any of the Rock School digital exams? So obviously they are available to do as recorded digital or live stream digital exams.
Yeah, for sure. So we've had a bunch of students do the recorded ones. So for some students that really works, because it allows them to sort of show their best performance in their own time.
Hmm.
And also obviously in the comfort of their own home often, which
Hmm.
puts them a little bit more at ease.
Yeah.
Um, so that definitely works for our students. Not for all of them, but a good a good
Yeah. No, it's good to have that
percentage.
option there. I think it's quite flexible, isn't it? So they have that option, and which they prefer to do, which is brilliant.
Yeah,
And then moving on to maybe more about the RSLs, the music practitioner qualifications that you offer at the
yeah,
Rhythm Studio.
yeah. So what's your question about that?
So yeah, I guess do you find it's a good progression route on from your sort of rock school graded sort of students going on to that level? It's great to have that sort of holistic learning. Do you find that?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Especially because it allows students to sort of delve deeper into all the different areas that the music industry or just the creative industries comprise of, and we also find that it works for the people that regular sixth form doesn't cater to so well,
Mm,
because it is such a specific music industry specialized
mm.
course, that really works really well. And they all go into the creative industries after.
Yeah,
So they move on to university, etc.
yeah.
And so that's a really, yeah, we've really had a good experience with the program.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess any students, I guess, that go on to either perform live or sort of portfolio career, maybe do teaching as well. I don't know if you found any students going down those different sort of career pathways.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. We definitely we have our sixth formers participate in work experience a lot in and around the
Brilliant.
studio with different programs that we do. And I think a lot of them initially don't realize that they might actually enjoy teaching, because teaching doesn't sound as attractive as a lot of other aspects of the music industry.
Mhm.
But then once they start helping out around the studio, they actually realize, some of them, that this can be
Mhm.
fun as well. So I think we can definitely inspire
Yeah,
students to go down the teaching route as well.
absolutely. And then I guess tell us a bit more about the Rhythm Studio, the label, which you have that part of that business as well. Sounds really exciting.
Yeah, that's sort of a fun thing that we do for the bands that have been with us for a while, because they can record at really professional studios, and they can learn how to promote and market their own material. And bands have gone on to play on BBC Six
Mhm.
music,
Yeah, brilliant.
um, and it's led to really good opportunities. And we've had them recorded, for example, at Guy Chambers, Sleeper Sound Studios, and Coldplay's Beehive
Mm,
Studios. They're all
amazing.
patrons of our foundation. So yeah, it's a really good fun thing to do for the bands to sort of experience the real uh,
Absolutely.
music world a bit more.
Yeah, and I guess also learning maybe a bit more about the music production side of things as well. In the studio, how the song gets put together, and into the final product, into release onto different platforms as well.
Absolutely, and also making creative choices about what they want their music to sound like, because obviously it starts with learning your instrument, but then there's so much more to it, in terms of making it sound a specific way and then putting it out to the world. So there are so many different steps that are involved, all of which, of course, RSL also covers with all of their different syllabi.
Mhm.
And yeah, that's really, I think, really a good experience for our students on the label.
Brilliant. Sounds good. And then maybe tell us a bit more about the bands that you play in, which must be brilliant to be playing live as well as teaching as well.
Sure, yeah. My band is called Shade Ray, which is sort of an indie pop rock format, a trio, and we write all of our songs together, and that's a really fun thing to do.
Mhm.
I also, until recently, played for an indie pop singer from Greece called Leon of Athens, and we were touring worldwide as well.
Amazing.
Um, which is very fun as well.
Ex-
And it is really, it's a great thing to do, to tour and then bring that experience back into the teaching room, um, because it is inspiring for the students, I think, to see where you
mm.
can take all the hours of work that you put into rudiments and scales, and how you can actually apply that in the real world and have fun with it too.
Definitely. And I guess, where and when is your next gig? Have you got any gigs coming up over the
Yeah,
summer?
tonight actually.
Oh,
We're
amazing.
playing tonight at the Shacklewell Arms in Dalston in London,
Hey,
which should be a
brilliant.
good gig. Hopefully, we'll stay cool and not get too
Yeah.
hot.
Yeah, and I think you've touched on this as well about your own experiences as a professional drummer and how they've influenced your drum teaching. So I guess
Yeah.
for the student, it's great for them to ask questions about, performing live performance. Um, not only learning what in one-to-one environments, but also getting together as a band, and that kind of thing. So I guess it's great for them to be able to talk to you about that as well.
Yeah, for sure, because they learn about the context in which they will hopefully, if they're interested in it, be working or performing, which is not very, it's not an isolated thing, but it's very much a communal experience playing music. And there are lots of other aspects as well that you learn from being on tour, which you realize are super important if you want to be a working musician.
Mhm.
So it's important that you're good and you do the work, but it's also important that you're a nice person to be around
Mhm.
because nobody wants to be on tour with somebody who's not fun.
Yeah.
And so if you have two amazing drummers and one of them is fun and the other one's not, everybody's
Mhm.
going to go for the fun one.
Yeah.
And things like being reliable and things like that are super important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, and I guess lastly, maybe any advice that you would give anyone looking out to set out as a professional drummer or even a drum teacher as well.
Yeah. Practice, 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 of
Hmm.
course. And I think taking as many playing and teaching gigs that you can get is important
Yeah, so saying
because
yes, that, yeah.
just saying exactly saying yes because doing something is the best way of getting better at it. So you just have to put yourself out there and connect with people and meet people. And the most work that comes your way is usually through word of mouth because somebody's worked with you and they recommend you to someone else. So you just have to be out there and doing things. And something that's super important, a little bit cheesy, but you just have to believe in yourself as well. So
Mhm.
you have to be not afraid of making mistakes and just doing it and knowing that you'll get better and yeah, be
Yeah,
confident.
absolutely.
Mm,
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much, Kaya, for joining us today. That's
my
really
pleasure.
interesting to hear about your experiences and also a bit more about the Rhythm Studio as well. So thank you very much for your time. And we look forward to seeing you again soon. And thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.